everybody and welcome to this week's Tune In Tuesday. So let's talk about PPE, personal protective equipment. Now I know we talk about it every single day, and yet before COVID-19 the phrase was almost reserved by healthcare professionals and the essential services. Now every day we're also warned of the second wave. Well, the new tide of plastic has already risen. We're already facing the plague of PPE. We now find littered PPE on every litter pick and beach clean that we do. A couple of weeks ago, we found 171 plastic gloves in just 1 hour litter picking around our local industrial estate. And as we know, littered plastics on land can ultimately reach the sea. So what are the impacts on wildlife? Well, PPE is predominantly plastic, so it brings with it very similar and well recognised issues that we are all very familiar with. The entanglement, the ingestion. We've already seen evidence of seabirds getting entangled in face masks, and you may remember from one of my Tune In Tuesdays previously, we found a pile of fox poo, and inside was a plastic glove. So it shows that it's being ingested by a whole variety of wildlife too. And though that animal was lucky enough to excrete it from its body, the internal damage could well have already been done. Though the use of plastic gloves isn't a new one, estimates predict that even before COVID-19, the amount of gloves that we were using, if you laid them out glove after glove, it would give you enough distance to get to the moon and back 30 times. Though since the beginning of lockdown, over 1 billion plastic gloves had been produced in the UK alone. So it's an incredibly timely issue, but unfortunately, I think it's one we're going to be paying the price for and seeing for generations to come. We've already found evidence that when some of this PPE gets into the marine environment, it begins to become submerged below the surface. Now, when plastics reach the seafloor, they bring with them a whole host of issues. Not only do they smother any biological structure that's down there, such as important pink sea fan beds in the UK or coral reefs further afield, but when plastic reaches the seafloor, it also brings with it this plasticizing effect. This impacts on the gas exchange between the water column and the sediment. Now, this impacts on the fitness of any flora or fauna in the sediment, but this then also impacts on key biogeochemical cycles like the carbon cycle. So this is a really important topic to be talking about and raising awareness of, which is why we're incredibly grateful to BBC Spotlight for covering this issue on tonight's evening news.
Aren't wanting to actually put their hands kind of into the bin to throw their items into the bin at the moment. There's some kind of strange psychology over germs and things like that. The second facet is not all bins in Cornwall are seagull proof. So actually sometimes people are trying to do the right thing and the bins are filling up twice as quick, and then the seagulls come along or the wind, and it all just ends up all strewn over the street.
We put all our rubbish in here. We've got a little rubbish bin with, everything goes in here and everything will go in the bin. And we clean up after ourselves, and I just think it's disgusting.
It makes me very cross actually, because it's supposed to be stopping the spread of disease, and you're just leaving it lying around for children and other people to pick up or play with.
The very purpose of wearing PPE is not only to protect ourselves, but more importantly to protect others. And the exact same applies at the end of life of PPE items. We have to take responsibility for not only our own welfare or others, but the planet's too. PPE litter is reaching every part of the world and impacting everybody's lives, but this is the very reason why we can tackle it. Because it's in all of our lives, we can all do something. It's these individual small steps that happen on a global scale that make significant change. So whether you're wearing a reusable or just ensuring that you're putting your PPE in the bin, it does make a difference. So thank you so much for watching this week's Tune In Tuesday, and I'll see you next week for next week's episode.